On that. Well, for more on the retail sector, I want to bring in Craig Johnson. He's the president of Customer Growth Partners. And Craig, Sheila laid it out nicely for us. Is this a case of the retailers of good, not great?
Well, we definitely think so. You have to put this in context, these numbers in context. First of all, the folks that report today represent only 11% of the overall retail dollar, and leaves out 6 of the 10 largest retailers in the country: Home Depot, Lowe's, Sears, Best Buy, Amazon, now a top 10 retailer, and of course the biggest of them all, and that's Walmart. So the folks report today are apparel heavy and mall heavy. That being said, the folks are doing better, but we're digging out of one big hole here from the last couple of years.
Well, also that being said, though, does it give you any hint about what these other huge retailers will likely report in their numbers?
Well, it provides some indication of it, but again, the folks that don't report today, again, take Home Depot and Lowe's. This is housing is absolutely a critical part of the economy and a key driver of retail sales, both directly and indirectly. These folks are not reporting. They've turned. That sector has turned. And it's on the comeback, but it is out of a 4-year hole now. They've been down for literally 15 quarters now. The last quarter was the first slight turn up, but they're still way down below. They're basically operating at 2006 demand levels.
Really? Okay. And as Sheila was pointing out, these are easy comparisons then in that way. But does it tell you at all, Craig, or does any of this tell you that we are seeing this consumer slowdown that's being indicated by other indicators in the market?
We think there was a little bit of a head fake earlier in the spring, in that March-April period, where the numbers got unduly high because of some calendar shifts and promotional shifts. Consumers still remain quite cautious now. Savings rates have ticked back up again a little bit. They're nearer to 4%. And as people become cautious with their pocketbook, they're simply not going to spend, and so they're very judicious in what they're spending. They're spending on the food and consumables very heavily, but the big ticket items are still very, very soft, and that's whether it's from the home improvement retailers or like Costco. The TV and sales have been very, very slow this year.
The major appliances and electronics.
It's still slow for the big ticket durables. People are basically buying very close to need and buying items that tend to be more in the food and consumables item, with some comeback on the discretionary smaller ticket items, which is where apparel comes in.
Now, from what I hear, though, a lot of these retailers are operating on pretty lean inventories now. So are they going to be able to get the traffic in with promotions, and what does that then do to their margins?
Well, the activity has become a little bit more promotion-minded, but the retailers, some of the folks that reported today, are operating after the last couple of years at much lower cost structures than they've had in the past, due to that was one of the side benefits of the recession. So even though sales are slowly coming back up, there's very significant operating earnings leverage, and so that's why the numbers on the profit line will be really quite good. Really, for the first quarter they were good, and they will be also for the second, even though the top line numbers are, as we talked earlier, good, not great. But the earnings numbers, because of the great operating leverage we've been able to achieve, will be really quite good.
And that may keep these stocks at least a floor, or support them, and maybe even go higher. Just set us up for the second half of the year. What are we likely to expect?
Well, we see last year retail sales were down 2.4%. Worst performance in a quarter century. So we're coming off a terrible year. Back to school, we see things being up about 5% and change, and as we go into the holidays, maybe in the 4%. So we're going to have a comeback. That's year-over-year total sales. We're going to have a comeback, but it's a long, slow climb out of quite a deep hole.
All right, Craig, we'll leave it there, but thanks so much for telling us more about the retail sector, really important for the markets. Craig Johnson, the president of Customer Growth Partners.